All right, good morning, friends. Today in reading, we're going to talk about the setting of a story. The setting of a story is where the story takes place. And many times it's a very important part of the story because it helps us to really fully understand the story. Where it's taking place is just as important as the characters in the story, the plot of the story, what happens in the beginning, middle, and end of the story, and also the main idea of the story. So those are all really important parts of the story, and the setting is the exact same thing, okay? Now, we have read a story a couple of times. If you take a look in your skills buddy on page 94 and 95 in the Purple Diamonds, okay? Our friends, the tortoise and the hare, right? We've talked about what happens at the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, what happens at the end of the story. We've talked about the characters. We've talked about descriptions of the characters. We've talked about the lessons that the characters have won. Today, what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at this box right down here. It says setting, okay? We know that the story is about a tortoise and a hare who decide to race one another. Okay, where does the story take place? That is the setting of the story. Where does it take place? Well, if I look at this little box down at the bottom, okay, it tells me that this is taking place outside, right? Maybe on a path or a road, and it certainly looks like it's daytime, okay? So that helps me to understand the setting of a story, where the story is taking place. What I want you to do is I want you to listen to this little story called The Perfect Place. And while you're listening to this story, I want you to be thinking about where and when the story is taking place. That is called the setting of the story. Okay, so listen carefully. And now while you're listening to it, I want you to be thinking about where in the story is this story taking place, or where is this story taking place, and when is it taking place? Okay, listen very carefully. The perfect place. Frank must build himself a new home. But he won't build his home in just any old place. No, no, no. It has to be the perfect place. Frank goes to the meadow. It is sunny and warm and filled with grasses and sweet-smelling flowers. It is a lovely place, but it is not the perfect place for Frank's new home. Frank goes to the forest. It is dark and quiet and filled with tall old trees and leafy green ferns. It is a wonderful place, but it is not the perfect place for Frank's new home. Frank goes to the pond. It is wide and wet and filled with cool water and squishy mud. It is a lovely place. It is a wonderful place. It is the perfect place for Frank's new home because Frank is a frog. Okay, so we just listened to the story, The Perfect Place. And it is about who? Who is the character in the story? Frank. Very good. And Frank is a frog. What is Frank's problem? What does he need? He needs a new home. He wants to build a new home. But the problem is can Frank just build a home anywhere? He cannot. He's a frog. He can't build his home just anywhere. He has to have the perfect place because he is a frog. Okay, so let's talk about the settings in the story, where the story has taken place. Where does Frank go first in the story? Do you remember where he went first in the story? He went to the meadow. Very good. Why was the meadow was beautiful, but why wasn't it a good place for Frank? What did it have? It was sunny. It had grass. It was warm. And it had flowers, right? Sounds like a beautiful place. But if you're a frog, is that a good place for you? So that was not. So that's where setting is very important. That setting sounds beautiful for a story. But is it a good setting for our frog? Absolutely not. Our character needs something wet and things like that, right? So that's why it's really important to understand or to know the setting of the story, because we know that that's not a good place for a frog. Where did Frank go second? He went to the forest, right? And what was the forest? Quiet, dark, leafy. Great place for some animals, but knowing what we know about frogs, is that setting good for Frank? Very good. Where does he go last? He goes to a pond. Very good. Why is this the perfect place for Frank's home? It's wet, it's muddy, and he's a frog. So he needs that water and he needs the mud. Did Frank find the perfect home for him? He did. He found it in the pond. That setting is the perfect setting for a frog. So understanding the setting of a story is really important because it helps us to understand the story better. We know that Frank was a frog, and we know that while the meadow was gorgeous and the forest would be fun, those aren't good places for a frog because they don't have what he needs. So he needs a habitat, a setting, a place that is right for him, where he can get all the things that he needs to survive. All right, now we just read about Frank. He found the perfect place, right, to build. How do you think Frank was feeling when he found that perfect place? Pretty excited, right? I would be if I found the perfect place for me to live. I would be pretty excited too. This week, what we're going to do is we've been writing telling sentences. We've written questions. We understand that when we need to tell someone, we use a telling sentence. If we need information, we ask a question. This week, we're going to write a different kind of sentence. We're going to write a sentence that we use maybe when we're really excited or scared or mad or confused or excited. We're going to write an exclamation. Okay, we're going to write a sentence that tells someone how we really feel about something. It's a little different than a telling sentence because a telling sentence would be, Frank found a home. That's a good telling sentence. So let's just take a look at that. I'm going to write it on my board here, okay? Frank found a home. Okay, that tells me something. That tells me Frank found a home. That's a telling sentence, right? That tells us something. All right. If I want to find out where his home is, I would ask, where is his home? And I'd put my question mark. Okay? Now I want to write a sentence that would help Frank tell someone how he feels about finding his new home. And the sentence that he would probably say if he found a new home is something like this. It is great. If Frank was telling somebody about his new home, he would say, it is great. And we would put, an exclamation point at the end because he's really excited. So this first sentence, Frank found a home, that's telling someone something. You know, it's great, but you're not like really excited about it, or you're just telling someone. The next one is, where is his home? You would say it with that kind of voice because you're asking a question. This last one, though, is if Frank has found his home, he would probably say to someone, it is great, because he's really excited that he found his new home. So what we're going to do today is we're going to practice writing with an exclamation point. We're going to write a sentence that shows someone that we're really excited about something, or we might be worried about something, or we might be upset about something. We're going to write. So what we're going to do today is, if I was running to catch the school bus and your friend is walking behind you very, very slowly, what might you say to them? Or if you are being very slow in the morning getting out of the house to go to school, what does mom say? I say it all the time in our house. Hurry up, right? Hurry up. So, hold on 1 second, friends. Okay. All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to practice writing an exclamation about if a friend was being very slow in the morning and we were trying to catch the bus. So at the top of our paper, let's write 5-18-2020. Okay? If our friend was going really slow in the morning, or you've ever been really, really slow in the morning, mom might say to you, hurry up. Okay? Do not write this yet, because I'll show you what we're going to do. So, someone might say, hurry up, right? With that exclamation point at the end. Because you're saying to them, I need you to hurry up. It's not just like, hurry up. Usually when someone's saying hurry up, they have a lot of emotion with it. So we use an exclamation point to say, I need you to hurry up. Now, if you hear really good news about something, you won $1 million, your birthday present arrived in the mail, you're feeling really excited about it, and you would probably say, that is great. Or, like Frank, when he found his perfect home, that is great, with an exclamation point. You're very excited about it, so you're using this exclamation point to let someone know you're excited. This exclamation point is saying, I really need you to hurry up because we have to go, okay? So both are saying with a lot of emotion. What I would like you to do is I would like you to choose either hurry up or that is great. I would like you to choose one of these exclamations and write it in your copybook and draw a picture that would match that exclamation sentence. Meaning, if you're saying, hurry up, if you choose that, I would like to see a picture that would show a time when you might be saying, hurry up, or mom or dad might be saying, hurry up. If you choose, that is great, then I would like to see a sentence, a picture that would match that exclamation sentence. That is great. Okay, so then on Flipgrid, you're going to share with me from your copybook either that you decided to write hurry up, and then you're going to tell me about your picture, or you're going to choose that is great, and you're going to show me the picture. So on Flipgrid in your copybook, I should see one of the two exclamation sentences, and then I will see a picture that matches that exclamation. Okay? All right, great job, my friends, and I'm looking forward to seeing your work on Flipgrid.